How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We are working on about a 1,700 square foot vinyl plank job, and there was quite a bit of prep on this. Let's take a look and see what we're getting into. So yesterday there was tile down here. We did not demo the tile, they had it. However, I did have to go over the entire floor here with my grinder because there was thin set. You can probably see that. So there was thin set still here. So I literally had to grind the whole floor. There was pretty rough areas. This is rough area. This was tile that had to be grind. That had to be, it didn't need to be ground. That was pretty clean, but I did go over it swiftly with my stand-up sander with a coarse paper just to knock sheetrock mud up. And everywhere else that I didn't grind, I actually done the same thing right down the hallway there. And then we got these holes filled, mudded out the flatness and all of that kind of stuff. And then we got started right down through here. That's what I like to get accomplished always. The first day is getting it prepped and at least getting started, and we did accomplish that. So now today we can take off on finishing up the install. I have to grind this. I did have to grind this. You can see there, this was sanded with my sander. This in here bathroom, I did have to grind this as well. You can probably see that it was ground. Anyway, we got this all set up. I'm balanced out my hallway. I measured, got center. It was going to fall about a little more than a ½ inch or whatever. It was 36. These planks are 35 inches. So I scooted my line over, my board over. So instead of, this is the center point, instead of starting my board off centered like this, I actually pulled it over here, and that allowed me to have 3 inches here, and then I'll finish up with a 3-inch strip instead of a little sliver and a little sliver on both sides. So that's how you can get away with that. But anyway, we got a lot of brick we're fixing to undercut. We got that wall there, all this stuff through here. Fixing to undercut that and get started again today. So about 4 foot, maybe 4.5 foot. I haven't measured it, probably about 8 foot. So that's 12, about 4, 16, 5, about 21, 22 feet of brick to undercut to go in this area. And also this floor right here was an add-on, so it is really jacked up. You can see this is actually cinder block because it was the side of the foundation. So they added this on, and there is about a ½ inch drop down here from the cinder block to the subfloor that they put in. Then when you get way over here, there is about 1 inch. So what I'm gonna do with this, I wanna put down a ½ inch plywood. That's what I can get away with without being too high. And then after I get the ½ inch plywood put down, I'll still have about a ½ inch over here. I will probably just self-level that whole half over there to make everything nice and flat. That's the plan anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. This floor is gonna need some work. It's definitely got some hollow spots and stuff like that in it. It sounds a little weird. Oh, there's some concrete or something here that they shot down into, so I don't know exactly what was here. It might have been a back porch or something that they just turned into a room. I'm guessing is what they did here. But anyway, we got our main line, took off yesterday, fixing to cut this fireplace and then take right back off again. Everything's running this way, so this half of the house will run straight. We got a big room in there. The master bedroom here is all running forward. This is running forward, the rest of that. And this every bit of this here, the kitchen, all of the rest of this is all running frontwards. The only bit we gotta run backwards is right here by the door and these two rooms on this side. This will be running backwards and this will be running backwards. Outside of that, we will be running all forward. So this is the finished result right here after cutting it. Really nice fit. The paint is definitely up higher than the stuff there. I think there was a little caulking or silicone or whatever. But I will make a mark on that so you can see just how far under there it goes for expansion. Look at that. That's a good inch, at least an inch. Look there, 7/8. Look, it was real close to an inch. So 7/8 of an inch under the brick works out perfect. And a question I get all the time is what saw I use to do that with. I'll show you right here. I'll show you what blade I use and everything. I use the Crane 835, I believe is what this is, right there. Crane 835 heavy duty undercut saw, and I use this dust shroud on it as well. And you can see the blade right there. It is a masonry blade, and it is 822 diamond blade. That's for, you can see right here, all kinds of stuff. Ceramic tile, brick, concrete, stone, marble, or granite walls. And yes, I have definitely undercut granite. I've undercut straight up rock with it. Rock walls are pretty, well, you see them in cabins and stuff like that. So this will get the job done. Faux show. I will leave a link to that saw, blade, shroud, everything, my whole little setup right there in the description of the video in case you are interested. And I also use, you probably know, the IQ 426 for my dust extraction. That's what keeps this nice and clean as we make all those masonry cuts. And those cuts I charge $17.50, if I ain't mistaken, $17.50 a linear foot. It takes about 30 minutes is what it took approximately right there to cut that. And $17.50 times, what is it there? I think I said 22 foot earlier. So not a bad 30 minutes worth of work. Okay, so we now have about this much going on up here. We got the hallway all complete, and I want to explain those Bessey spacers right there and show you why I have those, and also why I chose to use them in this particular area right here. So as I'm running my plank down through here, I attached a board here, I laid it out there and scribed it. I actually had like 2 rows hooked together here so it would be the best as possible. And then I scribed it, made those cuts down to about right there. After I got that row put in, then I guess I should have done this first, but I run me a line right down through there, a string, a dry line, and that end needed to barely come out. So my 1/4 inch spacers, what I allow for, wasn't quite enough, so I put those Bessey spacers in there. Once I got it on my mark, cranked them up so that wouldn't move. So that's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch right here. As you can see, there is, this corner is a 1/4, and it just gradually gets a little bit bigger down through there, which not much at all. Also, after I pop my line, or I didn't pop a line, I pulled my dry line, put a few marks on the floor where the dry line was. Then I set these stay blocks. You guys, if this is super good, it allows you to put your boards in there and gives you something solid to tap on without this end switching around like that and you're constantly having to straighten it up, because I've got to come all the way around this island, this whole fireplace centerpiece, and then it wraps back around and connects right over here to the living room. So I got to be dead on here so I don't have issues when it meets right over there. So that's why I have pulled my line. Make sure it's nice and straight. Now these on the hallway side, the Bessey spacers, I'm working this way, so you might say, why you got spacers over on that side? Well, whenever I get to my very last run right here in the hallway area, I will start. Now the tongue and stuff on these, so this is how they're going. This is how they're installing. I got my little bitty tongue here and on my right side. So technically, this is me anyway. I start down here and I work to the right. That way I'm putting the small tongue on the big tongue whenever I install. This has got the little mechanism on it. But, however, right here in the hallway, I did not start down here on that row and work all the way down here. I actually started in the hallway and worked this row directly backwards that direction on this row. That being, the reason for that is, you can see my joint right there in the center of the doorway. It sure makes it a lot easier to get this board in and that board in. And I got a joint in this doorway as well. Again, it just makes it easier to get it under that way and under that way if you have a joint in the doorway. Now, if I had started all the way down there and come up, I would not have no control over where the joints landed. I just would have been at the mercy. I could have got a full piece to do both sides of that. Those are a little bit of a pain in the butt to deal with. So it's much easier to think things through. Always work from your doorways. Even if it's just one run, like I did here, work from your doorway side the opposite way. That way you can get these end joints where you want them to make it nice. Now, the reason why I have these Bessey spacers here on this side is right here, right on the door jamb here, right on the door jamb here where these boards connect right here, because you can't lean up on this and snap it in like you usually do. I actually go probably from about right here, about maybe 2 inches on that side and about 2 inches on this side of the door jamb. So probably about 6 inches total right here. I take this little guy, a little finger plane, see this? And I will shave, that's what these are. I will shave the tongue off. That's the tongue. Take 2 layers off, that way I can get it completely gone. This portion of plank where it locks in, where this locks in to here, is not got no locking mechanism on it. It is actually glued. I put super glue from here to about here where I shave off the tongue. So that, again, just simplifies things. And also, if you have a problem with getting them in there and doing that, you can also shave the tongue off of the end joints. That way you don't have to fuss with them going in that way. You can just slide it together if you choose. Those are not too awful bad. These can be a little bit of a booger. Sometimes if you tap them in, you'll break the little tongue and it'll actually get in the crack, and you'll have a little crack there where you cannot get it all the way together unless you take it out and clean the groove out, because stuff gets in there. So by shaving that tongue off, you can see by shaving the tongue off and putting a few drops of super glue right where I did that. This is what I use. I keep this stuff always in my wood box, vinyl plank laminate box. I always keep this, super handy. It just makes this last run a whole lot easier. We got the bathroom done. It's all finished up here, and we just fixing to take us a little break. So I thought I would fill you in on what has been done already. If you guys don't do this, it's well worth trying out. You'll like it. It'll be a lot better. Anyway, take us a little break. Get to moving on here. Oh yeah. This is looking fantastic, son. So nice doing undercutting the fireplace. Again, it looks like it's crazy high, but it's not. It's just barely down there. You just got a little shadow from that caulking or whatever there, but it's a nice little fit. Got that one in there. Anyway, let's go further. So before I got this in there, I wanted to point out the super glue on it. That way you can see just how much I use. Now, just perspective, I'll put my finger down there so you can see about how far apart they are. Anyway, I got that all the way down. And that does not set up until it gets smashed flat, so got it all the way down. So this is like a 1/2 inch, well you can see, a 1/2 inch of going underneath the brick to get that little skinny piece in, way down there with no way to pry or anything like that. I thought, well, if it separates a little bit as it slides down there, I'm gonna be in trouble because again, I can't pry or anything. So I got this piece, and I'm gonna connect this piece and slide it all in just like it's one piece, put it in, and I'll be done working 3 pieces together as one, just to make this little bit right here easy to do. Okay, and this, again, this glue will stay in a puddle form until you smash it flat. Once you smash it flat, you got 10 seconds. So, you don't have to wait on it or anything like that. Hardly at all. That's like good. Once you get it, it's good. So now that I got that, you can kind of want to go ahead and get my thing locked in right here. Hug this down so it'll slide under there. As long as you keep a little bit up on this little angle to it, your plank is going to actually slide pretty good. So again, just to keep this nice all the way down there, about, let me see, I don't want to go too far. I'm going to work it here. Yes, I'm going to put this up here, and beautiful. All right, let me see that. Don't stop it. Let's see here. Now, boom. It worked out lovely. 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3, just to make that easier.